The National Gallery of Denmark, also known as SMK, houses an extensive collection of Danish and international art from the 14th century to the present day.
We're in the National Gallery of Denmark, and so far the piece that's caught our attention the most isn't even a piece of art.
It's a beautiful granite table, but it has like fossilized shells all in it. It's really cool.
And now we're going to look at the real art. Yes.
The city has a long history of producing world-renowned artists, from the Danish Golden Age painters to modern-day contemporary artists. We spent 3 hours at the National Gallery of Denmark Art Museum and particularly enjoyed the Baroque section. The piped-in Baroque music was a nice touch for the ambiance, and we also enjoyed the European art section. All of the exhibits were well-curated exhibits with descriptions in Danish and English. We could have spent lots of time admiring and looking at the art from these periods of time. After soaking up the traditional art, we wandered upstairs to view the modern section.
Look, I found art.
Art. Modern art. Wait.
What are you trying to say? It's like they're on drugs.
It gets a lot more controversial, I find,
But for some people, it's what they enjoy.
Yeah. There's probably people back, hundreds of years ago who maybe would have looked at some of that Baroque and European art and could have found
They did.
controversial and rude things in that.
They absolutely did. Yeah. They absolutely did.
But it was painted in such a way that just seemed more, more artistic, shall I say.
Well, I mean, that's all debatable.
In the eye of the beholder.
Yes, it is the eye of the beholder,
yes.
because some of the modern stuff I find beautiful too. So it depends on what you're seeing.
Yes.
Entering the National Gallery of Denmark, this costs about 20 USD.
Yeah. So for spending several hours, not too bad.
Not bad.
Yeah.
All right, so we spent about 3 hours inside the Danish National Gallery, I believe this museum was.
Wow.
Mm-hmm. What do you think?
It was good. I really liked the Baroque section. It was a lot of different types of art, beautiful art, history, so much history behind it. So I like that part.
Yeah. I agree. The same, I really enjoyed that part. And then there was European art from like the 1300s to the 1800s. Yeah. That was also enjoyable. Those periods I could spend a lot of time looking at the art, admiring the art, reading about the art. And then once we end up at the modern section, it's like lose interest. Sometimes there's some pieces that catch, I think, my interest and your interest, but it becomes much less
depth, or there's some certain aspects of modern art that can catch my eye, but most don't. Yeah.
So there was, in this museum, just the top floor had the super modern stuff. First to second floors has more of the traditional, but anyways, it's overall a nice museum.
Yeah, it's very nice.
Yep.
We had stumbled across one day a sign in front of a church in the city center that said they were having organ concerts in the afternoon. Mm-hmm. And we popped inside, and if I come across a place where there's a free organ concert, I am in. And I always enjoy that.
It was nice, though.
Yeah.
It was very nice.
There was.
And another organ concert in Europe.
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah, she was good.
Yes.
I liked her. Which piece do you
I like the loud stuff. I like it when they make the church shake.
Yeah, that was a couple of songs. It was like a couple of pieces.
Complex stuff.
Yeah.
Yep.
And fun. It was fun.
Something different.
Yep.
Walking out of the city center toward the edge where the city hall is, there was this large community band playing kind of that band orchestra music in front of the city hall, and we had stopped there for a bit and listened to them, and it was another example of music is everywhere there. Mm-hmm. So it was a good time. One of the things we haven't spoken about in Copenhagen is churches, and if you bounce around European cities, churches often are, it's almost like entering a museum, an art gallery, just because they can be very impressive. I don't know that the church culture established itself in the same way in the Scandinavian countries, but we did one Sunday evening attend Mass in the city, and we found ourselves at Sacred Heart Church. It's a Catholic church. It's a neo-Gothic style building built in 1895, and they offer services not only in Danish, but in Italian, Croatian, and we attended a Latin extraordinary form of the Mass. So that was our church experience in Copenhagen. If you enjoyed exploring with us today, don't forget to give this video a thumbs up and subscribe to The Places Where We Go for more travel adventures around the world. Thanks for joining us, and until next time, safe travels and happy exploring.